Hello there and welcome. As always, this is Mikhail or Michael speaking. And before I start my video, I wanted to apologize for my long absence and say thank you all who still supports me, be it with comments, as well as financially through Patreon, PayPal or Super Thanks. Words cannot describe how much I appreciate your help and support, so thank you friends. And I hope you have a great day. Now, today's video I will start with Kursk Oblast, where as you know a few days ago, Ukrainians launched an offensive in the direction of Russian-controlled villages of Berdin and Novosotnitsky. However, despite serious concentration of Ukrainian forces in this area, Ukrainians were unable to achieve anything significant in this area, and in the wake of Russian counterattacks, which we will cover shortly, retreated to their initial positions. It also seems that overconcentration of Ukrainian formations in this area allowed Russians to successfully and swiftly launch counterattacks of their own, putting a massive strain on Ukrainian formations defending their left flank. At the end of the day, as a result of successful Russian counteroffensive actions towards villages of Staraya Sorochina, Nikolaevka, Malaya Loknya, and Viktorovka, the consequences of these actions were catastrophic for Ukrainian formations and their efforts around the villages of Pogribki, Arlova, and Novaya Sorochina. As you can see, this recent Russian counterattack placed all Ukrainian formations fighting in this area and for the control of these three villages in a semi-encirclement. And according to multiple sources, they had retreated towards this next set of villages. If nothing is to be done, we can safely assume that Russians will close off this salient, which in turn will allow them to more safely attack in the direction of Staraya Sabochina, Nikolaevka, Malaya Loknya, and Viktorovka. And with small village of Kruglinka nearly captured by the Russians, Ukrainian formations defending this set of villages might find themselves outnumbered and overwhelmed. So perhaps within the few days we are to expect Ukrainian counterattacks in this area as well, because with the fall of these set of villages, Ukrainians will have a hard time to defend on these open fields. And with their failed counterattack here, we might see the entire front line in this area collapse after Russian counterattacks. Now, this isn't the only place where Russians advanced within the last 24 hours. They were also attacking in the direction of the Sudzha city, and as a result, took control of the village of Makhnovka and captured those territories in the process. As you can see, control of Makhnovka gives Russians a freedom of choice as to where to attack. They can attack in the direction of Dmitriukov, or what would be more likely, attack in the direction of the village of Zamostye. As you can see, this will be the last village that stands in between Russians and Ukrainians defending the city of Sudzha. So although this territorial gain is small, it is of most significance if Russians want to storm and capture Sudzha, which will be proven disastrous for Ukraine. Because like you can see, with the fall of this city, most if not all roads that lead towards the front lines on the northern portion of the front will be cut off. From Kursk Oblast, let's move all the way towards Pakrovsk direction, or to be more specific, its eastern flank, where Russians made small advances in the direction of Ukrainian-controlled village of Baranivka, towards which Russians attacked along this open field and along this road to the east of this pond. As a result of successful offensive actions in this area, Russians were able to advance, captured those territories in the obvious attempt to either throw Ukrainians out of this village or force them to retreat by enveloping them from the north and northeast. So as you can see here, Russians are creating a classic scenario in which Ukrainian formations within the villages or settlements are to be forced to fight in a semi-encirclement, making a retreat the only viable option. Then at the very last, let's move towards Kurakhova city and discuss the situation here as well. As you know, recently Russians successfully captured this important and vital city fortress, and as of right now are trying to exploit Ukrainian weakness in this area in order to enter and capture village of Dachne as fast as possible. As you can see, this is the only village, or to be more specific, relatively big settlement that stands in between Russian formations attacking towards Konstantinopol and Andriivka. As you can see, the village of Dachne is already in trouble, as Ukrainian formations defending the village and surrounding areas found themselves in a semi-encirclement, where here Russians are able to not only attack from Staroye Terny and Shevchenka to the flank and rear of Ukrainian defenders of the city, but also attacked straight on along this road. Yet again showing the classic Russian tactic of not exactly fighting for the settlement, but forcing Ukrainians to retreat. In support of the Russian attacks that are happening in this area, Russians are also attacking in the direction of the village of Rozliv. Here, as a result of successful attack across these open fields, Russian forces advanced and captured this relatively big portion of the front line. As you can see, Russians have not reached Rozliv yet, but seemingly getting closer and closer towards it with the fall of the village of Rozliv. Settlement of Konstantinopol, as well as Bogatyr, would be next in line. It is also important to notice that with the fall of this village, this road which Ukrainians used to supply their forces in Konstantinopol and Andriivka will first fall under fire control by the Russians, and as they would advance towards those two said settlements, physically cut. Of course, as you can see, Ukrainians still have this road which they still would use, but the effectiveness of supply and rotation systems would be greatly damaged, thus decreasing effectiveness of Ukrainian formations fighting to defend those settlements severely. With this, I end today's video. Again, thank you all for your support. I really appreciate all of you. As always, humanity calls me to condemn all violence against human beings. Have a good day, and always remember, Russia will be free and great.